I received a question from a viewer that said, I watched your open self-realization training, it was amazing. I do, however, take issue that it does not provide guidance to avoid the soul trap. Isn't it ironic that light seems to be synonymous with freedom and oneness, yet we are instructed to avoid, fear and resist the light, this light-love tunnel upon death? Really, we must understand what truth is, and we must understand the relationship between truth and the idea of physical light. It's really more of a New Age phenomena where people have associated physical light, bright white light, meaning truth, meaning who we are. But this is not how it used to be spoken about by the ancients. The light and dark, physical light and dark, were symbolic representations of truth and illusion, or truth and ignorance. Ignorance meaning to not know the truth. So truth is not a physical light. Of course, it's important to realize this because at the time of death, if people think that truth is the physical light, then they will think they have to go into the light. And this means to overlook the truth that you are already the light, that the light is everywhere. And light just means truth, it doesn't mean physical light. Has it ever occurred to people that if truth is light, you've now turned truth into an object? And if it is an object, it means it is separate and distinct from other objects, and it is separate and distinct from yourself. Because now you're a subject in relation to an object. And if a person believes that, then they're going to have to think that I'm going to have to go into this tunnel of light to find freedom. This is really the prime illusion of separation. To think that you have to go into a certain location to go into something is to misperceive that you are already that truth. That truth is already everywhere and nowhere. If anything, we can say that darkness, physical darkness, is more like our true nature than even light. Because if we look out into space, what do we see? We see just vast, black, empty space. And then you see, little specks of light, which of course are the suns. But the darkness and the space can exist without the light, without the suns. But the light and the suns cannot exist without the space and the darkness. So which one is more primary? Really, it is more like darkness. However, this is not even fully true. When we really come to see truth, we see that it's both beyond dark or light. Because these two are both opposites, right? If we think we are light, then we're living still in a duality where we're opposing something that is dark. It's not including the dark. If we think we are dark and not light, then we're opposing the light. So really darkness, physical darkness and physical light are just symbolic representations speaking about truth and ignorance. If we think of the term light, it's like enlightenment, illumination. It's pointing to that when we realize truth, we become illuminated. We shine a light on things that we could not see before, on things that were instead operating like an illusion. So what the Tibetan Book of the Dead says is that at the time of death, you'll be confronted by many different lights. You'll be confronted by a smoky light, a white light, red light, yellow, green, blue, all the different colors. And all these different colors, including the white light, are different frequencies that all lead back to reincarnation, which will indicate and will be different for each being depending upon what they are attached to, what they desire, what they fear. Essentially the karma. This is why it is important to realize the truth, and what the Tibetan Book of the Dead says is that we must realize the clear light. So when you're confronted with all these different lights, what you must look for is the clear light. Now this idea of the clear light is encoded within the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It is spoken about as truth, but many people have speculated about what it really means. Because how do you find a clear light. Right? If we think about it, if something is clear, then how do you see it? How can something be a clear light? Every other kind of light is a color. Even white, you can see it, it's like a physical object. It's distinct from dark. It's distinct from red, from blue, from green. So all of these have distinctions, all of these have separations, which means that ultimately they're an illusion, because they're not representing something that is one, something that is inclusive. But a clear light means it is transparent. A clear light means it is empty of any kind of distinction, which means it has no opposition to it. All the other colors have an opposition, but a clear light has no opposition. So what I interpret from what the Tibetan Book of the Dead is saying in terms of you must find the clear light is really speaking about the essence of truth, which is completely formless. And it is saying that at the time of death, you must find the formless. You must find that which is clear, which is the same as being the truth. And they say that when you find that, then you will find liberation. You will become enlightened, you will find liberation, you will end the karma, you will end the reincarnation, and you'll be free. If not, then what will happen is you'll get pulled into one of these different lights. Some of them are of a much lower density, much lower realm. Some of them are a higher, slightly higher realm, but each one of them is still within the reincarnation cycle. This is what it says. So my core message of everything that I share in the videos, and in my teachings, in my books, is to say, find the clear light while you are still alive, before you leave the body. Because if you wait until you leave the body, it is going to become very challenging to find the clear light. In fact, I would say unless a being is actually preparing for death in the right way, for what is called Maha Samadhi, which is a conscious way of exiting the body at the time of death, unless a being is doing that, it is likely that they are just going to get pulled in, sucked into one of these different frequencies, which leads back to reincarnation. Because what it will mean is that a being has not dealt with their attachments, their fears, their desires. They've not realized the truth. So really, my invitation is to say that the truth must be realized right here and right now. It must be realized now. Look for the clear light right now. Can you see the clear light? Many beings have already glimpsed this. Many beings have already seen this clear light. But the question is, do you remain a witness of the clear light? Do you remain grounded in the clear light? Or do you allow your desires and fears and attachments to take over? If they take over while the being is living, then you can guarantee that they will take over at the time of death. So I am not saying to go into the white light, and I'm also not saying to avoid the white light. All I am saying is just come to recognize the clear light. You see, those are two sides of the same coin. If we go into the white light, then we're believing in the illusion of separation. We've not realized that we are the truth and that the truth is everywhere. We still think it is in a certain location. That's an illusion. That means that we're in the conditioned mind still. We're still in the trap, the reincarnation cycle. But also, if we try to avoid the white light, then it means that we're in a state of fear, in a state of resistance. This is also indicating that we are stuck in the mind. So what I am saying is, don't go to the white light, but also don't resist the white light. Instead, just realize the clear light. And deep down, each one of you truly knows what this clear light is.